Chapter 1, Mishnah 6. The Mishnah presents 4 cases involving hechsher. If someone blows on lentils to see whether they are of good quality, and in doing so his saliva makes the lentils wet, Tanaim disagree whether the lentils are thus prepared for tumah. Rabbi Shimon says, since he had no interest in making the lentils wet, they are not included in the law of the chiyutan, i.e. they are not prepared for tumah. But the sages say the lentils are included in the law of the chiyutan, since he intended to blow on the lentils, and he knew that this action will certainly result in their becoming wet. It is as though he were pleased that they became wet. The Mishnah's second case involves someone who is eating sesame seeds. While holding the seeds in the palm of one hand, he puts a finger of the other hand into his mouth to make it wet, and then dips his wet finger onto the seeds. He eats the seeds from his wet finger. And if someone ate sesame seeds by dipping his wet finger into seeds that are in his other hand, and the hand holding the seeds eventually become wet from his saliva, what is the status of the liquid, i.e. saliva, on his hand that is holding the seeds? Rabbi Shimon says the saliva is not included in the law of the chiyutan, i.e. cannot cause hechsher, because the person intends only to wet his finger and not to wet the hand holding the seeds. But the sages say the saliva, on the other hand, is included in the law of the chiyutan. Since he is pleased with the saliva on his finger, all of it could cause hechsher, including the portion that ends up on his other hand. The Mishnah's third case. If someone hid his fruit in water because he wanted to hide them from thieves, they are not included in the law of the chiyutan, i.e. the water does not prepare the fruit for tumah. This is because he is not pleased that the water made his fruit wet. He placed them in the water only because he needed a place to hide them, an incident in which the sages applied this ruling. There was an incident involving the people of Jerusalem, who hid their pressed figs in water because of bandits, and sages ruled for them that the figs are tahor, i.e. they were not prepared for tumah through contact with the water. The Mishnah's fourth case. If someone could not carry his fruit, and he therefore placed his fruit in the current of a river, so that the current will carry them down the river with him, while he walked alongside them, they are not included in the law of the chiyutan, i.e. the water does not prepare the fruit for tumah. As in the previous ruling, he is not pleased that the water made his fruit wet. He placed them in the river only because he needed them to be transported by the current.